ora devo io su. Ma come salti?
Daccela a noi, stronzo!
There was then a huge gap of 7 seconds to the first local, Malcolm Stewart in his Audi Quattro, his first outing in the new Metro. Teasdale and Stewart continue to battle it out with the Metro. The quickest local is Malcolm Stewart in the Quattro, who originally thought he wouldn't even make the start due to lack of finance. Fortunately for him, the Audi dealers of New Zealand stepped in at the 12th hour and saved the day. And they must be pleased with their investment so far. Minutes of road penalties, whilst repairs were carried out. First place and first local was held by Stewart in the Quattro.
Within minutes of the start, the competitors were tackling the tarmac special stages at Bradford's Bowling Park and Lightwater Valley. Michel Mouton and the Audi UK Quattro set the pace as she powered the German four-wheel. And Malcolm Wilson in his private Quattro was very spectacular indeed. Many fancied Wilson to win this one, and in the opening stages, he was just seconds behind the factory car of Mouton. Welshman David Llewellyn, after winning the national title last year, has been promoted to the British Audi team and was motoring very hard on. Malcolm Wilson was in superb form, and once the rally moved into the North Yorkshire Forest, he had overhauled Michel Mouton for the lead. But could Malcolm stay in front around the dusty tracks on the Old Croft race circuit? Wilson's calm co-driver Nigel Harris knew exactly where they were going. British-based Michel Mouton, with as ever Fabrizia Pons at her side, was using the huge power of her Pirelli-shod Audi to very good effect. When she reached Croft, she was trying very hard indeed, but she could only equal Malcolm's time, so he was still 20 seconds in the lead. Behind there was a... As the dawn came up after a tough night, the leaderboard had a new look about it. Still ahead, now by a sizable margin, was Malcolm Wilson. Mouton was out after clouting a rock and breaking the suspension. The Oliver's Mount motorcycle racing circuit on the outskirts of Scarborough, and a big crowd to watch Chris Lord. Here is Malcolm Wilson again, and he is definitely in trouble. Look, that escort seems to be catching him up. This is desperate indeed, and the next service at the fire tower in the middle of Dalby will be crucial, where the service crew are still debating what they should do. Wilson says the car is leaving on the straights, and again, Paul Ridgway, his chief mechanic, works feverishly to ensure the car will at least finish the rally.
Nothing we can do, we just have to leave it. The front pit.
You had no noise at all from the front?
It isn't a front drive shaft, is it? It could be a drive. We've had to do the last 3 stages with just two-wheel drive, and we haven't been able to find out what it is exactly, but we think it's now the front differential. So if that is the case, we'll have to continue with just two-wheel drive for the rest of the rally and hope that we can just maintain our lead.
How badly does that hamper you?
Oh, very, very much so. I mean, Russell took 16 off us in there. So I don't know how many miles of stage is left, but it's quite a tall order.
18 miles of stage is left, and based on the last stage, we're losing about 5 seconds a mile to him. If we continue at that rate, we're okay. If it was 10 seconds a mile, we'd be in trouble. So...
Yes, for the final few miles, it is absolutely everything crossed. Wilson heads away from service with a fresh set of Dunlops, but will he last? Malcolm is yet to win a British International. Will he be denied within sight of the finish? Harewood House, the last of the 51 stages, and the now two-wheel drive Audi was still limping, but still in the lead. Surely he would make the final run back into Bradford.
Star Michelle Mouton. How did she rate her chances in it?
I will tell you after the first stage, because I didn't drive the car so much. You know, it's the first time the car is running on asphalt, and we will see after the first stages.
But the Sport Quattro S1 wasn't the sole novelty. The General Motors dealer sport team, conscious of the threat from the new Audi, produced a brand new Opel Manta for Russell Brooks.
It's probably the lightest Manta ever built. I mean, we're talking only something like 30-40 kilograms, but it could be quite significant, and I'm looking forward to it.
And was Brooks concerned about the threat from the latest Audi supercar?
No, it'll blow up.
And he wasn't that far wrong. Severe overheating accounting for the Audi's demise at the end of only the first special stage. Nevertheless, the S1's potential was amply demonstrated by Michelle, being equal fastest on the first test with championship leader Malcolm Wilson. Malcolm was driving the more conventional A2 Quattro, loaned to him for the occasion by Audi Sport UK, in recognition of the company and driver's brilliant efforts earlier in the season, when he won all the loose surface events in the Open Championship, driving his own car. Wilson soon discovers that this works car is considerably faster than his own, and he takes an immediate lead. Backing him up in the second works Quattro A2 is David Llewellyn, who, although going a little wide here, is joint third fastest on the first stage, and after special stage 4 is in equal second place overall. Saturday morning north of Omagh. Perhaps the best that can be said is that the rain has stopped. The atrocious conditions during the night have been of some assistance to Malcolm Wilson's Dunlop-shod four-wheel drive Quattro, and he has a 1-minute lead over Sundstrom's Peugeot. However, it hasn't all been plain sailing, as he's had to change a gearbox and is now nursing the car over the bumpiest sections, hoping to secure a finish and maintain his hopes for the championship. Regrettably, it's not to be. David Llewellyn in his Audi Quattro is pulling in another 5 drive in Ulster. He's in third place, 17 seconds ahead of the Opels after a gearbox change at Omagh. Unfortunately for him, the gearbox replacement has a limited slip differential more suited to gravel surfaces, which is making the car very difficult to drive on asphalt, and he's slowly falling back. Fourth is a resilient David Llewellyn after sustaining a broken differential and having his originally discarded and suspect gearbox put back in the car. keen to put his Irish disappointment behind him, first round winner Malcolm Wilson heads for fastest time here in Valley drivers, particularly Welshman and birthday boy David Llewellyn, who with his English co-driver Phil Short is immediately on the pace in his Audi Quattro. And now enter stage left, an astonishing combination set to stretch the imagination. A Yorkshire Lord and an Audi Quattro. Take a bow, Chris. Meanwhile, the leaders have completed their first run over Epic. A grimly determined Brooks has shouldered his way to Michel Mouton's down-on-powered engine is compounding the Quattro's tarmac disadvantage. He's down in 7th place. After setting fastest time over Escar Dafydd, David Llewellyn is 4th and making a big impression. Escar Dafydd hill climb and Michel Mouton and her Italian co-driver Fabrizio Pons are trying hard to regain lost time now that the Quattro is back on. Spectacular and second fastest at Escar Dafydd, Wilson's Dunlop-shot Audi lies in 3rd place. Stuck in 2nd gear for over half that mileage, a worried Wilson drops 1.5 minutes. Michel Mouton's down-on-powered engine has been joined by gear selection difficulties, and she's in 5th place behind her young teammate David Llewellyn, who is upholding Audi fortunes in 2nd place behind Brooks. In Hafford Forest, he's just 1 second slower than the leader. Over the rally's northern loop, the new leader is Malcolm Wilson. The advent of rain and consequent slippery conditions comes as a further boost to Quattro runners. Michel Mouton is now... Brooks' retirement puts David Llewellyn back up to 4th place. The talented Welshman had initially dropped to 7th spot after losing 4 minutes on the 13-mile Derby stage. Chris Lord sadly battered Quattro, the Yorkshireman having rolled his car at the same spot. Final stage action at Pembrey near Swansea. Malcolm Wilson's lead has stretched to almost 4 minutes, and he's 2nd fastest here despite a spin. But there's last-minute drama for Michel Mouton. She's clipped a corner, and the punctured tyre is in the process of peeling off the rim. Happily, she's able to finish her first such experience for over a year. Telly Cavey manages to miss both her and her tyre. Quattro seem virtually assured of yet another Scottish rally victory. So this year, excitement centres on the battle for 2nd place, and it's expected to be a 3-cornered fight. 4 years ago, Malcolm Wilson suffered a crippling accident here on the Scottish while challenging Mikola for the lead. Since then, he struggled to re-establish himself as his career took a downturn. Now back in a competitive car, he has that chance. Can he recapture his old form and challenge the Finnish maestro once again? Inverness basks peacefully in the early Sunday morning light. During the night, Hannu Mikkola has established a 2-minute 16-second lead. Battling hard in 3rd place, half a minute down on Brooks, is Malcolm Wilson, who's actually been ahead of the Opel driver more than once already. Special stage 23 at Arochty on the return run south, and the leader is comfortably fastest ahead of 3rd place man Malcolm Wilson, who is trying equally determinedly to demote him. And at the same 4th bridge as a backdrop, the last stage of the day is Hopetown House. Despite his pursuer's best efforts, Mikkola's lead is as secure as ever. Monday morning at Elibank, the 2nd stage of the day, and the Quattro contingent has sadly been reduced. With Yorkshireman Phil Short deputising for his regular co-driver Arnie Hertz, Mikkola is doubtless well aware of this hazard in Dalbeattie Forest, which caught out Phil's driver last year. Tuesday morning in the Trossachs, and rain has returned to Scotland as Mikkola reels off the last few slippery stages to continue Audi's total domination of forest rallying in Premier British Championships. Bothered only by an intermittent misfire eventually traced to a broken turbocharger wastegate pipe, Mikkola cruises home to his 5th Scottish rally win. Before dashing off to the World Championship Rally of New Zealand, he's just got time to celebrate his crushing victory and co-driver Phil Short's birthday.